Picture this. You're doing squats. Again, heavy bar on your back, legs shaking, lungs on fire. Weeks go by. Your glutes grow, your lower back gets stronger. But your legs? Still skinny, still uneven. Still those so-called chicken legs. What if I told you the problem isn't that you're not squatting enough? It's that squats were never the solution in the first place? Most people with chicken legs don't actually have a motivation problem. They have a strategy problem. And today, I am going to show you the single most effective exercise to fix chicken legs, one that works better than squats, better than leg presses, and better than almost anything else you're probably doing right now. Now let's get something straight from the start. Chicken legs isn't an insult, it's a description of a very specific imbalance. Small quads, underdeveloped hamstrings, weak calves, and often poor coordination between the muscles of the lower body. And here's the key insight most fitness advice completely misses. Chicken legs aren't just about size. They're about muscle recruitment. You can train legs for years and still fail to grow them if the right muscles aren't doing the work. Squats are a perfect example. Squats are an incredible exercise, no question about it, but they're also a very forgiving movement. Your body can cheat. Strong hips take over. Your lower back helps. Your glutes dominate. Even your ankles and posture can shift the load away from the quads and hamstrings. So while you feel tired, sore, and accomplished, the muscles that actually need to grow barely get enough stimulus. This is why so many people end up with powerful-looking upper bodies sitting on top of skinny legs. The nervous system has learned how to avoid using the weakest links. So what's the solution? The solution is to use an exercise that forces your legs to work independently, removes momentum, eliminates cheating, and lights up every muscle fiber from hip to ankle. That exercise is the Bulgarian split squat. And before you click away thinking, I've tried those, they're just lunges. Stay with me, because the way most people do Bulgarian split squats is exactly why they don't work. When done correctly, this movement is brutal in the best possible way. It creates more muscle activation in the quads and glutes than traditional squats, places massive tension on the hamstrings, and exposes left-to-right imbalances that squats completely hide. Studies consistently show that unilateral leg exercises like this produce higher muscle activation with less overall load. That means more growth stimulus with less spinal stress. And here's the most important part. Bulgarian split squats don't allow your body to shift the work somewhere else. One leg works, period. Think about that for a second. If your right leg is weak, it can't hide behind your left. If your quads are underdeveloped, your hips can't fully bail you out. The nervous system is forced to wake up dormant muscle fibers and actually use them. That's why this one exercise alone can transform chicken legs faster than years of squatting. But to make this work, we need to understand what chicken legs really are from a biological perspective. Muscle growth happens when three things come together: mechanical tension, metabolic stress, and sufficient muscle fiber recruitment. Squats give you tension, sure, but they often fail at recruitment. Bulgarian split squats, when slowed down and controlled, give you all three at once. When you lower yourself slowly on one leg, your quads are under constant tension. Your hamstrings stabilize the knee and hip. Your glutes control balance. Even the small stabilizing muscles around the ankle are firing. This creates a deep, localized fatigue that your body interprets as a reason to grow. And unlike heavy squats, this fatigue is targeted, not systemic. You're not limited by your lungs or lower back. You're limited by the leg muscle itself. That's a huge deal. Now here's where most people mess this up. They rush the movement. They bounce at the bottom. They use a bench that's too high. Or they lean so far forward that it turns into a glute exercise and completely bypasses the quads. To fix chicken legs, the setup matters more than the weight. Your front foot should be far enough forward that your heel stays down the entire time. Your back foot should be elevated just enough to allow full range of motion, no higher than knee height for most people. Your torso should stay mostly upright, not exaggeratedly forward. And the descent should take at least 3 seconds. That slow descent is where the magic happens. As you lower yourself, your quads are lengthening under load. This type of contraction, called an eccentric contraction, is one of the strongest drivers of muscle growth we know of. It creates microscopic damage to the muscle fibers that your body adapts to by making them thicker and stronger. Then, at the bottom, you pause. Just for a second. No bouncing. No elastic recoil. That pause removes all momentum and forces pure muscle effort on the way back up. If you've never done Bulgarian split squats like this, your legs will shake. That is not weakness, that your nervous system being forced to actually use the muscles it has been avoiding. This is especially powerful for people with long legs or poor squat leverage, who often struggle to feel their quads working in traditional lifts. Bulgarian split squats put the knee through a deep range of motion, which heavily biases quad activation without needing massive weight. And here is something that surprises most people: you don't need heavy weight at all. In fact, adding weight too soon often makes the exercise worse. It encourages cheating, faster reps, and poor control. Body weight alone, done correctly, can be enough to trigger growth, especially if your legs are currently underdeveloped. Now let's talk about volume, because this is another reason this exercise works so well for chicken legs. Your legs can handle more volume than you think. They're designed to carry you all day. But heavy squats tax the entire system, limiting how much quality work you can actually do. Bulgarian split squats allow you to accumulate high-quality volume without frying your nervous system. This means more sets, more time under tension, and more opportunities for growth. A simple approach is 3 to 4 sets per leg, 8 to 12 slow, controlled reps, resting just long enough to catch your breath. By the final reps, your quads should feel like they're on fire. That burning sensation isn't just pain, it's metabolic stress, another powerful hypertrophy signal. And when you combine that with mechanical tension and full muscle recruitment, you get a perfect growth environment. But there is still one more reason this exercise fixes chicken legs better than squats, and it has nothing to do with muscle size. It has to do with movement quality. Chicken legs often come with poor knee control, weak hip stabilizers, and limited ankle mobility. These issues don't just make your legs look smaller, they limit your ability to train them effectively. Bulgarian split squats quietly fix all of this at the same time. Balancing on one leg forces the brain to improve coordination. The knee learns to track properly. The hips learn to stabilize. The ankle becomes stronger and more mobile. Over time, this improves how you move in every other leg exercise you do. So even if you eventually go back to squats, you'll squat better and grow more. This is why many elite athletes and physical therapists rely on unilateral leg training not just for rehab, but for performance and hypertrophy. It builds legs that are not only bigger, but more functional and resilient. And here is the irony: the exercise most people skip because it is uncomfortable is the exact one their legs need the most. Now let's get very specific, because this is where Bulgarian split squats stop being a good exercise and start becoming a complete fix for chicken legs. First, let's talk about targeting the quads. Because for most people with chicken legs, the quads are the most visibly underdeveloped. The single biggest adjustment you can make is knee travel. Many people have been taught that letting the knee go forward is dangerous. In reality, healthy knees are designed to travel forward, especially during quad-dominant movements. When you perform the Bulgarian split squat, allow your front knee to move naturally forward over your toes as you descend, while keeping your heel planted. This increases the moment arm at the knee, which dramatically increases quad activation. Research shows that greater knee flexion under load is one of the strongest predictors of quad growth. If you keep your shin too vertical, you shift the work away from the quads and back toward the glutes. That's fine if glutes are your goal, but it won't fix chicken legs. Now, hamstrings. This is where most people think Bulgarian split squats don't do much, but that is only true if you rush the movement. The hamstrings in this exercise act primarily as stabilizers, controlling the knee and hip during the descent. When you slow the eccentric phase and pause at the bottom, hamstring activation skyrockets. To emphasize this even more, think about pulling yourself down rather than dropping. Almost like you're resisting gravity the entire way. You should feel tension in the back of the thigh, not just the front. And here is a subtle cue that makes a big difference. Lightly grip the floor with your toes on the front foot. This increases foot stability, which sends a signal up the chain and increases hamstring and calf engagement. The body works as a system, and when the foot is active, the entire leg follows. Speaking of calves, yes, this exercise helps fix those too. Chicken legs are almost always accompanied by underdeveloped calves, and most calf training fails because it's disconnected from real movement. Bulgarian split squats load the calf in a stretched position while it stabilizes the ankle. That stretch under load combination is extremely effective for hypertrophy. If you want to emphasize calves even more, elevate the front foot slightly on a small plate or wedge. This increases ankle dorsiflexion and forces the calf to work harder throughout the movement. Now let's address frequency, because this is where people either make huge progress or stall out completely. You don't need to do Bulgarian split squats every day. But doing them once a week usually isn't enough either, especially if your legs are far behind. 2 to 3 times per week is the sweet spot for most people. The reason this works is because the exercise creates a strong local stimulus without excessive systemic fatigue. Your legs might be sore, but your nervous system recovers quickly. That allows you to practice the movement often, improving coordination and muscle recruitment each session. A simple structure could look like this: 2 days focused on Bulgarian split squats as your main leg exercise, and 1 lighter day where use them as an accessory with higher reps and slower tempo. This gives you both intensity and volume without burnout. Now, let's talk about progression, because growth only happens when the body is forced to adapt. Progression does not mean adding weight every week. In fact, weight is the last thing you should progress with this exercise. The first progression is control. Can you slow the descent to 4 seconds? Can you pause for 2 full seconds at the bottom without collapsing? Can you keep perfect balance the entire set? Once you can do that for all your sets, then and only then should you consider adding external load. Dumbbells at your sides work better than a barbell because they don't shift your center of gravity forward or compress the spine. Even then, small increases go a long way. 10 extra pounds on Bulgarian split squats feels like 50 pounds on a squat. Your muscles know the difference. Another powerful progression method is range of motion. Lowering deeper over time, while maintaining heel contact and knee control, increases muscle fiber stretch and growth stimulus. This is especially effective for stubborn quads. Now let's cover the mistakes that silently kill results. The first is rushing reps. If you're blasting through sets just to get them over with, you're missing the entire point. Speed reduces tension. Tension is what builds muscle. The second mistake is turning it into a balance drill instead of a strength exercise. Yes, balance is involved, but if you're wobbling all over the place, reduce the difficulty. Hold onto a wall lightly if needed. Stability allows force production, and force production drives growth. The third mistake is avoiding discomfort. This exercise burns deeply. That burning sensation is a sign you're finally loading the muscles that have been neglected. If you stop every set the moment it gets uncomfortable, your legs won't change. There's a difference between pain and productive discomfort. Learn to recognize it. Now, how do you know if this is actually working? Within the first 2 weeks, you'll notice something interesting. Your legs will feel more present. Better mind-muscle connection. Better control when walking, climbing stairs, or doing other leg exercises. That's neural adaptation. Within 4 to 6 weeks, visual changes start to appear. Quads look fuller from the side. The area just above the knee thickens. Your legs start to match your upper body more. And here's the biggest sign. Other leg exercises suddenly feel different. Squats feel more stable. Lunges feel stronger. Even calf raises feel more connected. That's because Bulgarian split squats rebuild the foundation. They don't just add muscle, they teach your body how to use it. Now let's put everything together, because the real power of this exercise isn't just in how you perform it, it's in how you build your entire leg training around it. If you truly want to fix skinny legs, you have to stop trying to do everything at once. Most people throw squats, leg presses, extensions, curls, lunges, and calf raises into one workout and wonder why nothing grows. The problem isn't effort, it's diluted focus. When one movement already gives you high quad activation, strong hamstring involvement, glute engagement, calf loading, balance training, and joint conditioning, adding 5 more leg exercises often just reduces recovery and quality. This is why simplifying your leg training can actually accelerate growth. For a period of 6 to 8 weeks, Bulgarian split squats should be the centerpiece of your lower body training. Everything else becomes secondary or optional. Here's a simple framework that works incredibly well. Start your leg workout with Bulgarian split squats while you're fresh. 3 to 4 hard sets per leg, slow descent, controlled pause, full focus. This is your growth stimulus. After that, choose just one additional movement based on your weakest link. If your hamstrings are clearly behind, a simple hip hinge like Romanian deadlifts at moderate weight and strict form. If calves are the biggest issue, add slow, loaded calf raises, emphasizing the stretch at the bottom. If quads are still lagging, a light, high-rep leg extension focusing on squeeze and control. That's it. 2 exercises, sometimes 3. Done well. This approach allows you to pour all your mental and physical energy into the movement that actually matters, instead of spreading it thin across exercises that your body already knows how to cheat. Now let's talk about recovery, because this is another reason chicken legs persist. Legs grow when you recover from training, not during it. Bulgarian split squats create deep, localized fatigue. That means you must give your legs enough time, food, and sleep to adapt. Protein intake matters here. Muscles can't grow without raw materials. You don't need anything fancy, just consistent, adequate protein spread throughout the day. Calories matter too. If you're trying to grow legs while eating like you're cutting, progress will be slow no matter what exercise you choose. Sleep is the multiplier. Poor sleep blunts muscle protein synthesis and slows recovery. If your legs are a priority, treat sleep like part of your training plan, not an afterthought. Now, let's address the mental side, because Bulgarian split squats are hard, and that's exactly why they work. This exercise forces you to slow down, feel the movement, and stay present. You can't hide behind ego weight. You can't rush through sloppy reps. Every set demands attention. That discomfort builds mental resilience along with muscle. Over time, something interesting happens. You stop dreading leg day. You start respecting it. You feel in control. You feel balanced. And as your legs grow, your entire physique starts to look more athletic and proportionate. This is why many people who commit to unilateral leg training never go back to relying solely on squats. They felt the difference. Now, does this mean squats are useless? Not at all. Squats are a great tool, but they're not the foundation for everyone. For people with chicken legs, they often come too early. Build the legs first. Teach the muscles to work. Then layer squats on top if you want. Think of Bulgarian split squats as rebuilding the engine before adding horsepower. And here is the final takeaway I want you to remember. Fixing chicken legs isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right thing, the right way, consistently. One exercise, done with intention, can outperform an entire workout done on autopilot. If your legs haven't responded to years of squats, leg presses, and machines, that's not failure, that's feedback. And the feedback is telling you exactly what you need. Slow down, go unilateral, remove momentum, force the muscles to work. That's how you fix chicken legs. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this, it's this: your legs aren't stubborn, broken, or genetically doomed. They've simply never been trained in a way that forces them to grow. Squats made you tired. Bulgarian split squats make your legs adapt. When you strip away momentum, ego, and shortcuts, and you load one leg at a time through a deep, controlled range of motion, the muscles that have been hiding finally have no choice but to show up. That's when chicken legs stop being a joke and start becoming a strength. Commit to this movement for the next 6 to 8 weeks. Slow it down. Respect the burn. Let the imbalance expose itself instead of avoiding it. Feed your body, sleep well, and let the process work. Because the truth is, you don't need a complicated leg routine or a dozen exercises. You need focus, patience, and one brutally effective movement done right. Try it and don't be surprised when your legs finally start matching the rest of your body.